I will start this meeting. Okay, this is OpenChain SBOM working group from now on. So at the first, I will introduce some stuff for antitrust policy notice as usual. This is the OpenChain project under the Linux Foundation meeting. So please ensure that to secure this antitrust policy notice. So I will read the antitrust policy notice. Linux Foundation meetings involve participation by industry competitors, and it is the intention of the Linux Foundation to conduct all of its activities in accordance with applicable antitrust and competition laws. It is therefore extremely important that attendees adhere to meeting agendas and be aware of and not participate in any activities that are prohibited under applicable U.S. state, federal, or foreign antitrust and competition laws. And if you have any questions, please contact to the Andrew Update Group of the firm of Jesmar Update Group LLP. Okay. Oh, thank you for joining, Georgie.
Hi, I'm here. Yes, I'm here standing for Michael Tien, who couldn't join this day. So
Okay.
he was asking me to join.
Oh, thank you very much. And but I'm not sure. Shane is today. Shane is absent. So, but the reason I don't know. So I will move forward today's meeting. Okay. So today agenda is like this. First one, SBOM study group recently turned into the working group. So I will explain what is the difference between the SBOM study group and working group. And then I will introduce SBOM document quality guide since we are discussing the status of the SBOM document quality guide update. And after that, I will make a report for the Open Source Summit Europe. It was held in last month, I think. And then for the discussion, see some minimum elements for software bill of materials update. Okay. So today there are a few people to joining in this meeting, so I will finish a little bit earlier as usual, I think. Okay. And then into the working group. Shane sent an email to the mail list. The SBOM study group is turned into the SBOM working group under the OpenChain project on September 12th. Because what is the difference between study group and working group? I already stated in this slide. There is basically no difference in our activities. And of course, there are no special benefits such as receiving a budget and so on. But the only big difference is OpenChain is organized some OpenChain board companies, and they approved at the Open Source Summit Europe. We OpenChain board companies held their board meetings at the Open Source Summit Europe, and confirming to moving forward from the study group to the working group. And it means OpenChain project approve of SBOM study group into a working group. So SBOM study groups work, such as SBOM quality guide and so on, will be governed by the OpenChain project. And we can use the OpenChain project brand for several materials. It is one differences between SG and WOG. Okay. So we are now tackling on SBOM document quality guide. And we are, how many? I'm not sure, 7 or 8 meetings from earlier. And we plan to release the SBOM document quality guide in Markdown format on GitHub. But at this moment, it is a little bit difficult to adopt the GitHub PR workflow for editing some documents. So I've created a draft version on this guide on Google Docs. And at this moment, nothing has been finalized yet. So please check it later. I will share these materials later. So please check the here. Wait a moment. I will share in the chat box. Uh, I shared the link in the chat box. So please check the document quality guide on the Google Docs. And please make a comment or feedback if you have any opinions or questions. And of course, if you'd like to edit this document, please let me know. I will give the, how can I say, editing access for the link. And now there are a few tasks remaining. First one is create a comparison table of the required elements for each specification and guideline. As in the earlier meetings, I shared the comparison chart for the required elements, such as CISA minimum or NTR minimum or CLA and so on. And originally, Ninja-san created such a comparison table in the Google Sheet format. So we will implement this comparison table into the SBOM document quality guide. And then prepare a minimum JSON sample and a JSON schema example in this document quality guide. And the last one is chapter 5, expanded section in chapter 5 on common challenges encountered in practice and solution ideas. These 3 parts I will implement to this SBOM document quality guide as a draft. And after that, we will continue to discuss about that. And of course, anytime it's welcome and it's appreciated to make some feedbacks or comment for this guide. This is the actual status on this document quality guide. Okay. And the report about the Open Source Summit Europe. And I think some of you attended Open Source Summit Europe last month. And there are so many SBOM topics and about for the CLA. And the first one is from Nokia Market-san about the telco SBOM guide. It can be referred on these links, and you can watch the YouTube video about the telco SBOM guide from Market-san. And then there are also CISA minimum SBOM element update is presented by Victoria-san from CISA. And after this session, there are many discussions within some European companies and CISA entities. And actually, some of us joined the discussions and having lunch meetings with Victoria-san and BSI guys. And then we had the OpenChain Standard Mini Summit at the last day. And there we introduced some activities about automotive SBOM and the tooling working group, and of course SBOM working group. And these are the pictures I took, but unfortunately my pictures are not taken anybody, unfortunately. So at the OpenChain Mini Summit, I introduced why a new guide is needed. There are many standards and guidelines from every continent. And of course, there are some differences between these guidelines, but most part is in common. So it is from the supply chain views, it is a little bit difficult to adopt every standards or guideline. So we intend to merge the common requirements to the one document and provide some example for implementation. So we think it would be better for the open source communities and every SBOM tackling people. And the SBOM document quality guide scope, we are focusing on receiving SBOM document between the external parties, between the some companies to company or open source communities to with some companies. So we are focusing the JSON example. We are focusing to create a JSON example for exchanging between the other parties. It is an overview of introduction of our activities of SBOM study group. And the last one is she says 2025 minimum elements for software billboard materials. As all of you know, CISA published update of the SBOM minimum elements for the SBOM. And deadline. It is now is a public comment period, and its deadline is October 3rd, like about 1 week later. And I sent an email to the SBOM working group mail list. I communicated and discussed with Shane and Kate Stewart from SPDX working group. And there are similar comment or question within OpenChain project and SPDX working group. So I proposed to merge our comments to the SPDX public comment document. So if you have any comment to the CISA SBOM minimum elements, please comment on this document. I will. Okay, there are already, thank you, Anthony-san. There are already lots of comments already on the CISA main. Yes, I know. And yes, and SPDX community also discuss about the CISA minimum. So we are now creating this document for public submitting as a public comment. So if you have any additional comment or your thoughts, please comment on this document, Google Docs. And one important thing is please sign off at the last page here. Kate want to sign off to make when you make some comment on this document. Please sign off here for submitting the public comment. And this is introduced as SPDX community comments, but I consult with Kate Stewart with SPDX and OpenChain joint comment. Yes. Okay. And that's all from my side. But yes, Anthony-san, as Anthony-san commented in the chat box, yes, I understand. Some specification can be realized in SPDX version 2.3. So it's there are some discussions in the comment field. So if you have any ideas, please discuss in this chat thread. Yes, like I remember that SPDX, SBOM types such as source SBOM, build SBOM can be described in the SPDX version 2.x. So, of course, there are some alternative ways to describe SBOM types in the SPDX version 2.8x, but there are no specific field to state the SBOM types. So we needed to discuss and make some consensus with SPDX communities. Okay, that's from my side. Are there any comments or questions?
Nothing from my side at the moment.
I think there are going to be lots of issues. Having read the CISA comments are publicly available.
Yes.
So I think I'm aware of there's OpenSSF are doing comments, SPDX are doing comments, lots of communities are already doing comments. I think having done an assessment myself, there are features which I think broadly align with what industry wants to do, so including things like licenses. But there are many issues that are not declared in the standards that will require changes to the standards to implement what the minimum elements requires. I'm particularly thinking about how we define a license other than an open source license that's in the SPDX. Because one of the big challenges is how do you define an unknown a license that's not declared? I see a lot of SBOMs which introduce a concept of an unknown identifier which is not valid, so it will fail validation. Cyclone DX sort of does it by not including the license, so it's implicit. We need to think about how we handle licenses that are not in the SPDX license list, and I think that's a particularly large challenge. And I think we need to think how we handle proprietary licenses, because as we get more SBOMs, we're going to get a mixture of open source and proprietary components, and we need to be able to handle both. So I think that's probably an area that needs more discussion at the community level globally, not just one license. And, SPDX defines open source licenses very well, but we need to think how we define proprietary licenses as well now. And I know there's a lot of uncertainty about checksumming or hashing. What do you hash? It's I know lots of organisations that will rebuild everything from source because that guarantees that they understand what the build chain is, rather than just downloading a pre-built binary. So we need to think about how we handle that. So component hash, I think, is a mechanism, but it's not a consistent, not reliable mechanism.
Yes, I agree with you. Completely agree with you. Yes, there are so many discussions, and actually, I met Victoria at the Open Source Summit Europe, and there are questions from other people. Uh, are there any aligning discussions between some open source communities, such as OWASP or SPDX? But they don't have the previously discussions, so there are some confusions in the communities. So we need to merge, and as Anthony-san said, OpenSSF want to publish the public comment to the CISA, and SPDX community wants to publish the public comment. So in such situation, I and Shane and I consider it's not feasible to make a public comment as OpenChain SBOM study group and working group solely. So I discussed to merge our comment to the SPDX community. But the SPDX community also discuss with, I'm not sure SPDX community discuss with OpenSSL community or not. So, but one reduction is more better way, I feel, I believe. So I decided to make a comment with SPDX community. So of course there are some overlap with other public comment, but at this moment we can make a comment on this SPDX public comment document. So of course, it's not required only here, but also you can make a public comment freely as an organization or other organization or your companies. But from SBOM working group under the OpenChain project, Shane and I decided to merge our public comment with SPDX community. And of course, there need to more discussions, but the deadline is October 3rd. So the first step is make a comment as possible as we can. After that, there are some discussions within CISA, SBOM some teams. I don't know, Tiger team or some other teams will discuss these matters.
I think one of the concerns we have, because I think everyone's aware that Alan left CISA at the end of July.
Yes.
So yes. I don't know what their I was going to say bandwidth. I don't know how many are there. I know Victoria's running the show, but I don't know how much effort they have available. If they get a lot of comments, what will happen? I think I'm aware that Cyclone DX has just got a new version is about to hit the streets very soon. It has also got the 2.0 is being developed as well, which is quite a significant step forward, but backwardly compatible. So there's already a lot of evolution happening in the world, and there were also governments that are starting to declare their standards. Much the same way that you were talking earlier on about the comparison of OpenChain against what your CRA is doing, etc. So there's already quite a lot of movement already. So I think there's certain things in the CISA one that nobody else does. and I think we need to get sort of a lowest common denominator rather than try and be too specific.
Okay.
Because
Yes. Yes. And I discussed with Victoria, and basically Victoria take over the Alan's work or fully taking over. But of course, there is some confusion still existing. So Victoria will reorganize SBOM teams. So at this moment, it's some confusion, but I think, I believe it will be improving in near future. And some Japanese noticed that in the EU region companies are very focusing on only CRA, and US companies only focusing on CSA minimum or NTR minimum. And some other regions are creating new guidelines in their regions. So it's a little mess to adopt some guidelines.
I
So
think
yeah,
I think we need to realise that the CRA will apply worldwide to anybody selling any digital products into the European community. So although you're right in terms of you're focusing on your local thing, there are already, and the CRA has not declared what an SBOM needs to contain. At the moment, they've just said they need to have an SBOM. Great. I hope they align with a reasonably an already established standard, and they focus on content, not on format. So I think I've said that before. I think we need to focus on the content, and to recognise the tooling. If everybody has to go to SPDX3, we do not have tooling in place across the communities, across the tool, across the tools that we're going to need that are available today. COA is going to take 2 years plus to get there, but the tools are not there today. So if the tools are not there today, we're going to have a problem. I hope they just focus on content so we can get away with SPDX2, because that's where most of the tools are for the SPDX. Cyclone DX seems to be 1.5 or 1.6 at the moment, which is okay. I think are reasonably compatible. So yeah.
yes, okay. Yes, I agree.
I'm going to have to drop off now anyway, but yeah, nice to speak to everyone.
Yep.
But yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay. Are there any comments or questions?
Is it actually the last and only chance to make feedback to the CISA on this guide before the official release of this document? Because the title is the 2025 CISA minimum element. So they probably plan to release this document in this year. So,
yes.
but I think there are too many actually lots of the issue or challenges to make the agreements between the various the associations as
I heard from Victoria.
I think it's need more time to discuss or more need to the chance of the discussion.
Yes,
So
I'm not sure the official fixed version, when the fixed version will be published, I don't know.
I don't know.
But the first comment period is the deadline is October 3rd.
Yeah.
So after the deadline, first deadline, they will have a discussion about the comment.
Mhm.
And I'm not sure when is the fixed version will be published. But
Oh.
they introduced they think it needed to be updated gradually. So I guess there are some point for the rediscussion. But for the 2025 minimum element, this document, it
Yeah.
is the deadline for on the October 3rd.
Yeah. Oh. So this title maybe changes when the official release.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but next year,
2026 or
yes,
yeah. So okay.
it might be.
Yeah. Yeah, as you and Solita said, so for example, so the between this document and the CRA or NTI minimum elements, so for example, the coverage of this one is different. So the CRA is basically based on the or assumes the NTIA minimum elements from point of view of the coverage. So, but the 2025 CSAS minimum elements is the updated majorly on the coverage. Or it's just the example, but to the lots of changes is introduced. So the difference between the CRA and the CSAS minimum elements. So
Yes. CISA Victoria from CISA explained that NTR minimum is continued to the
yeah.
it's yes.
Ah.
So some guidelines referring to the NTR minimum is correct. It's correct, and so NTR minimum is continued to existing and taking effects
Yeah.
for the future. And but the NTR no longer update their minimum element. And CISA take over the update their minimum element under the CISA. So CISA document is a new one, but not override. NTR minimum element is existing, and the
Yeah.
CISA minimum element is also existing. And it depends on some guidelines like CRA, which referring to the actual minimum element.
Oh, double standard.
Yes.
Like SPDX other two
Two
and
and
three.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. SPDX2 is standardized
Yeah.
the ISO
Yes.
IC, but they don't want to maintain.
Yeah.
So I don't know what ISO version of the SPDX, whether ISO version of SPDX continues in the future or not.
Yeah. it's like that's similar to the
Yes.
NTI minimal somewhat similar. Yeah, I think. Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
The document of CISA, specifically the dependency relationships. So it is, yes, and this section argues about the relationship that means dependency, but also derived from relationships is mentioned. So in other words, pedigree. So are there any discussion to how to catch the pedigree relationships in automation SBOM generation?
Yes, there are big discussions. Yes. And actually, SPDX attribute or synonyms of the relationship. There are many descendant of or has variant and so on. But there is a discussion whether value should be used in this dependency relationship. So there are no conclusion, but there is a discussion.
And my question is how to catch this kind of information by automated methods, automated manner. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
What tools provided this kind of functionality?
Don't know. As far as I know, there are no tools. We can feel these values, but as far as I know, there are no tools implemented like this feature. And it is very difficult to implement these features.
Okay. So another question. So are there any, sorry. So how to say, in this discussion, so someone know why these topics included in this CISA's document? Are there any, do you have any idea or so why these topics is like introduced this in CISA's document? Anybody know the idea, or do you know someone? Anybody don't know? Nobody knows. Okay. And thank you so much.
After, go ahead, please.
No, I don't know.
And after Victoria's presentation at the Open Source Summit Europe, a person asked her, are there any discussion aligning with some format specification teams like Cyclone DX and SPDX? But as far as I know, there are no discussion within for aligning such format. So there are some confusion between CISA and some format communities.
Thank you so much.
So,
Interesting institution.
yes, but people from BSI included and had a discussion with the CISA team. So I don't know, but there are some solutions or some improvement in near future, I think.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, and I believe it's more familiar from the EU region people. I can't attend the SPDX Tech call recently, and the meeting was held in EU and US time zone. So if anyone who can join the SPDX Tech call or some SPDX calls, please, I very appreciate if you can provide some information. Okay, anyway, it's the deadline is next week. So if you have any opinions, please provide your comment in this SPDX feedback to CISA documents. I'm very appreciated. Are there any other comments or questions?
Not from my side.
Thank you very much. So I will summarize. We will now creating SBOM document quality guide on the Google Docs. So please make a comment if you have any feedbacks or ideas. And I will tackling to add some stuffs like implementing some SBOM samples or some comparison table and so on. After that, well, please make a comment or feedbacks. I'm very appreciated. And if you have any feedbacks to the CISA minimum element, please comment in this document. Okay, that's all from my side. And if there are no comments or questions, I'd like to finish these meetings today. And thank you very much for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.